How are you?
Minus 30 degrees to Mars, right?
Yes, it is.
How's Poland treating you so far?
Great. We like it here.
We love it here.
We have been talking about this show quite a bit.
Pretty much since the Coke Festival.
Yeah, wanting to come back. Our first trip to Poland was pretty spectacular, so we were really happy that we had the chance to come back.
How does it feel to play the same material a year after it's premiered? The celebration aspect is still there?
Yeah, I mean, for us it's funny because people ask us that type of question a lot, and it still feels quite fresh to us.
What's your secret to keep it fresh?
I think the audience helps keep it fresh.
Yeah.
So you're playing in front of a new audience all the time, and we tend to. There are some songs that we've just started playing recently, like Hurricane. We didn't play that for quite some time. We still have never played Alibi. So there are some songs on this record that, on this album, that feel quite new because we haven't played them very often. And as people discover them, as we discover them, they change, and how you play them changes.
Exactly.
When first did you notice the community aspects of your fan base? When all that started?
From the very beginning, we knew we had a very special connection with our audience. For many years, there weren't very many people that knew about us. But the intensity that they devoted to the music was really intense. It was severe. It was unlike a typical relationship between a band and an audience. So that's been that way for quite some time, and it's one of the really special gifts that we've been given, and I'm very proud of that.
Do you think it's quite modern? I mean, you worked with Kanye West. Doing his new album, he put the songs on the internet and decided what to put on the album, deciding what the fans said. Do you think this kind of involvement of feedback is the way for the future? Not only for you, but basically for...
I think it's one option. It's an interesting option to make a collaborative record with your audience, and there are people out there that have experimented in that way. We had an interactive process, and while recording, and invited tens of thousands of people all over the world to sing on our record at an event called the Summit, and that was a really big success, and we'll probably build upon that idea in the future, seeing as it was such a big part of this record.
Yeah, I like what you were saying before too.
Jared, is directing videos part of your musical career or kind of beginning of your film career as well?
A new beginning, maybe. No, I think it's part of the music, and it's something else as well. It's the great thing about art is there are no rules, and we have to remind ourselves of that. Art is about freedom, whether you were painting or drawing or sculpting or making music or directing or acting. Art is art is art, and I give myself the right to explore any facet of art that I see fit. That's one of the pleasures of being an artist. Right?
And you mentioned that influences when making an album tend to be anything else than music. Is that the experience for you as well? That you kind of isolate from listening to the outside world when working?
I think it's good to do that because you don't want to become over-influenced. You want to just have true connection to whatever source of inspiration that you're drawing from so that it can be original and unique. I think that you can...
Make new life.
I think that you can accidentally become too influenced by the things that you're listening to, especially musically, without realizing it. So, yeah, I definitely don't listen to any music at all when we're making a record.
Okay, this one's for you.
Okay.
What's the good and the bad side of having two brothers in the band?
Well, I think Tomo and Jared's relationship is very unique. I think it's they get along quite well considering that they're always with each other. You know, and I think they have a very special bond, so.
And here, I need a frank question. Is Jared's parallel careers in any way interferes with the band's life? I mean,
No.
the decision making or...
No, not at all.
Yeah,
He hasn't made a movie in 3 years.
he hasn't made
I mean, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Over.
So would you say, Jared, that music is that thing?
I think it's one thing. I mean, I really spend a lot of my time doing many different things.
All the time.
Editing, directing, creating some kind of form from something formless, bringing ideas to life, managerial aspects, you know, trying to keep this clusterfuck kind of semi-organized. So, and I also sing and jump around stage like a maniac. But I don't really think of myself so much even as a singer. I think that's just one way that I communicate to our audience. I mean, there are ways now with technology and the ability to speak to your audience that you have to create and to build upon what the idea of an artist is. A lot of artists, there was a time people just sang, wrote songs. Sometimes they didn't even write songs, they just sang. I mean, you take someone like Frank Sinatra, who was a singer and he did some acting as well, but that era, it was very common for singers not to be writers.
He was just a voice.
He was the voice, but you know, now there are opportunities to have a really multifaceted career, and I enjoy that.
Gentlemen, musical influences. I know, Jared, about The Cure and Lennon, possibly that you mentioned. What about all of you?
So many different bands. I mean, for me, my musical inspiration and career started from classical music, you know, and then it turned into all the different types of genres that exist out there. I would say pretty equal across the board. I listen to everything.
Do you think, by the way, that that's the iPod generation? Because the technology involves, I mean, like making cassette mixes before.
I remember
it
that.
involves.
Yeah, I think so as well, but there's also another aspect is you buy music anonymously now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so people can feel free to explore their guilty pleasures and abundance in that idea. I mean, I think it's common for people to like pop music and rap and rock, and it's a multi-genre audience out there these days, and an audience that is increasingly responding to singles as opposed to albums.
Agreed.
Your turn? Musical influence?
I agree with Tomo, you know, and I like the bands that Jared likes as well. I mean, there's Led Zeppelin was a big one, Pink Floyd, even like some folk music that my mom was listening to. So anything really that was around, I kind of
Fleetwood Mac.
yeah, Fleetwood Mac I dove into, you know.
Interesting times.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
Jared, last question. When you mentioned Lennon as an influence, was it spooky to play the killer?
It was a spooky thing to do. I never really felt that right about it. You know, it was a very strange and dark thing to do, but I couldn't resist the challenge that was there. It was a very rare opportunity to push myself. You know, I'd never really been asked to push myself that far, and probably won't again. So,
Including changing the lifestyle, perhaps.
yeah, all of it, physically, emotionally, it was pushing myself in a really, really far direction, and you don't have the opportunity to do that. So I took it.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks, man.
Likewise.
Thank you
Good
very
to
much.
see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.